All right, it's loading up. It's loading up. I'm excited. Man, I'll tell you, I had to do my research right quick on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, so I had to go mute. All right, here we go. On the Soup Fam, welcome to one of the best long time. I've been looking for something to really kick us off for this new moving forward part of my women's empowerment series. The young lady that I've met, I met her whenever I worked at the Muzzy Bows basketball camp, and she stepped into the court. She had this little, hey, I know I'm here with a bunch of guys, but hey, I can handle my own. And then I stepped to her and I was like, oh, you play ball? I could beat you 1-on-1. She looked at me and was like, bro, please. But with no further longer overweighted ado, I know a lot of y'all just was blowing me up, coach. Where you at? Where you at, coach? I'm ready to hear. I'm sitting here with
Hey everybody, my name is Breya Busby.
Breya Busby. Let me tell you, this young lady, I, the story, the story, the story. Um, I literally was in tears watching some of the things and reading up on her, but hopefully it's going to have the same impact. And, you know, for some of you of the young ladies that watch and listen to my podcast, hopefully this will be an inspirational story for you as well moving forward. So, Bria, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Um, well, some people don't know I have a twin. I have a twin brother, and then I have two other brothers. But I play basketball. I was at Liberty University, and then I transferred to Bryant University, and I'm a redshirt sophomore. Um, yeah,
Okay,
that's just a
okay.
little thing
So
about me.
we're gonna not spoil the big surprise part yet. So where are you originally from?
Well, I was born in Orlando, Florida, but now I stay in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, okay. So tell us a little bit how like has basketball always been a want in sports, or did you try like cheerleading and soccer and things like that?
Well, my family is a basketball family, so I was put in a basketball very young. My mom actually did try to make me do cheerleading whenever I was 5, I believe, but I hated
Mhm.
it. So yeah, that wasn't gonna work out. But yeah, I've always been in a basketball family and always, training and stuff at a young age. So it's just been implemented in my life. So
Okay, okay. So what age did you first start playing basketball?
I would say third grade, I started like doing the YMCA league. My dad and my mom are my coaches. And then I started AAU whenever I was in fourth grade.
Okay, so fourth grade, fourth
Yeah.
grade. So whenever you was doing the YMCA to AAU, did you feel like it was something that you were like, okay, I'm doing this because I love it, or I'm doing it because of my family?
I would say I was doing it because I loved it. I enjoyed like playing outside with my brothers and, playing one on one and just actually, I like training with my dad. So that's what I really enjoyed. So
Okay, okay. So real competition basketball for you started at what? Like fourth grade, fifth
mhm.
grade?
Yeah, fourth grade.
Okay, so your first part of competition basketball, and you're out there on the court for AAU, and you're in your first AAU game. Was there like nervousness? Was there like, hey, I'm gonna go out here, I know I'm a beast, and I'm gonna just show these young ladies or these little girls that I run this court? Like, what was your mentality?
I would say it's like a mixture between both because, AAU, it's new for me and I'm nervous about it, but I'm also ready to, get out there and lead my team. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. So fourth grade, fifth grade to middle school. So in middle school, did you like have like a bump in the road as far as like, the feel of basketball, or was it just like a easy transition?
Well, the crazy thing is, so at my school, I was at Westminster, well, in seventh grade. But like, if you're in sixth grade, you can't, like, I guess you couldn't be on a middle school team. So
Mhm.
my dad was the a high school coach. So I was actually on the high school team in seventh grade. So I didn't play middle school basketball,
Oh,
but
excuse
yeah.
us.
But no.
Excuse us. I mean, she said, forget middle school. I'm up there with the big dogs, seventh grade,
Yeah.
running up and down the court. So, seventh grade, we're on the varsity basketball team playing against older young women.
Yeah.
The competition, I mean, were you the nervous, like, or were you again like, hey, I'm not scared of you?
I would say, and again, a mixture of all both, because but whenever my dad was my coach, and dang, I'm going blank right now. My dad was my coach, and I was nervous because I'm playing against older people. um but then I also was getting frustrated because my team wasn't the best, and
Mhm.
like I was kind of one of the better players in seventh grade, so I was trying to like take too much and just do everything. So
Right,
it just get me frustrated, but I also was like, just because I'm in seventh grade, you're not gonna bully me around. So
right,
yeah.
right. Okay, okay. So let's go back. Dad's our coach.
Hmm.
Dad, oh, I'm the daddy's girl at home. Daddy loves me. I could get away with everything. What was it like as being the daddy's girl on the basketball team?
Uh, it was frustrating because sometimes me and him will get into it. It's my dad, and I'm just like, well, I could do this, but he wants me to do something else. But eventually, whenever I got older, I learned, like, I got to do what I got to do for the team and listen to my coach and everything. So we would, butt heads a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's my dad. I love him. So, yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I know that at home it's like, oh, my nurturing, daddy, I love you too, pumpkin, things like that. And then boom, I got to be rough and tough on you. Did you
Mhm.
find like a bump heads, like whenever you got home, the yeah, I ain't got nothing to say to you, and I'm gonna
Yes.
go to my room and slam the door.
Yes, there was a lot of nights that were like that, but at the end of the day, we just got over it because it's not about us or it's not
Right.
about him, it's about the team. So yeah.
Okay. So that was seventh, eighth grade year.
Hmm.
Okay. Going into the ninth grade year, still daddy's coaching or
Yeah. So my freshman year, I was at United Faith, and my dad
okay.
was my high school coach there too. So
So tell those who don't know United Faith, what is United Faith?
it's in Charlotte. It's a Christian school. It's a small Christian school, I would say that. But yeah, it's just a Christian based school, basically.
Okay,
So.
so we're freshman year, new coach, new team. What was the emotions behind it? Like what you stepped on the court, what was the feel?
Well, at this time I was getting like interest from coaches and like getting mail in the letter and stuff. So whenever I was on the court, I was just trying to do me and get better for my team and just get better for myself because at the end of the day I'm trying to go to college to play basketball. So, just a big step forward that I had to improve my leadership skills and leading my team.
Okay, okay. So what did you do to get better, as far as like get your skill level up and, you know, the mind state? What went into practice of that?
So I would lead my team, and during practice if we're like goofing off or whatever, I would, get them straight because, I want to win games. Again, my team wasn't the best, so we really had to work extra hard, to win games, to score buckets, to play defense or whatever. So I would just, get in my teammates' head, to, focus at practice, because at the end of the day we want to win games and stuff. And then also not talk back to my coach since he's my dad, and just be a bigger person at the end of the day. So
Okay, all
yeah.
right. So getting buckets, your freshman year. Well, let's go back to seventh grade. Seventh grade to ninth grade, you are playing varsity basketball as well. So getting buckets, was it easy for you? Was it like something that you had to like push yourself to do? Kind of give us a brief detail about that.
I would say, like, I was very good on defense. So I would focus on my defense first and then just let scoring come. I did have to improve on scoring because my main focus was on defense, and then the scoring just comes. So through seventh through my freshman year, it got better scoring, like when to score, how to score, and all that stuff. So
So how did you get better offensively? Let's ask that question. Like, what kind of work did you put in to get better offensively, and then be aware of like how to get to the basket and how to, get those buckets?
so my seventh grade year, like whenever I would attack the basket or whatever, and say they didn't even foul me, I would fall on the ground every time.
Oh, you're a
So
flopper.
yes, I was a flopper my seventh grade year. Yes. So I would just say improving that, taking the contact, finishing the bucket, also improving my 3-point shot. Um, and then I really didn't use my mid range a lot. I use it a lot now.
Mhm.
But I did use mid range a little bit. But I would just say finishing through contact and then just working on my threes, and also like coming off screens and like looking for the right passes, bounce passes or chest passes to the big. So yeah.
Okay. So you didn't have too much confidence in that long range shot or mid range, per se.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So um I guess the question that I'm well, the answer I'm trying to get at is how much gym time outside of practice did you put in to, perfect and get better?
A lot every day. My dad, he was not playing with me. I would be in the gym every day, lifting. My dad always, he doesn't want some lazy basketball player. So he, in the morning, go to the gym. At night, go to the gym, lift. So yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. Hold on one second. People are like, "Are you on yet?" I'm like, check YouTube. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
So, how many hours do you think a day did you put in to get to that next level? I know you was already on the high level, but to get to that next higher level, how much time did you incorporate in the gym?
I would say it depends. Like if I have 2 workouts today, it's probably like 4 hours just for them 2 workouts, 2 hours each. And then lifting probably like an hour and 30 or an hour, depending on like what lifting I'm doing. So probably like 5 to 6 hours, 7 hours a day, just
Okay.
working.
So would you say that if you want to become a better basketball player, you have to have self-discipline to push
Yes.
yourself to get
Mhm.
better?
Yeah. I would also say like having the right mindset, because if you don't think you can do this or you can't do that, then it's never gonna work for you. You always have to like motivate yourself. That's what I do a lot, because you can't just, like say my dad, oh, go up and do this, this and that. Like you have to motivate yourself to get up every day and do what you want to get better. So
Okay, okay. I like that because one, I am a personal trainer.
mhm.
And it's the funny story is we bumped into each other and didn't even realize it
Yeah.
before COVID. And
Yeah.
like I watched you after I got through the training. The young lady, it was a young lady, matter of fact, and we sat there, we watched you, and I told her, I was like, watch her. I was like, you see how low she is and how proficient she is, it's smooth, and she's not pounding the ball, and I was like, she's going to be somebody's good basketball player. And it never dawned on me until I seen your Instagram, and I was like, yeah, that was her. And I was like, okay,
It's
yeah,
a small
yeah,
world. It's a small world.
very small. Because I
Yeah.
think at the time you was wearing the Charlotte Christian shirt, and that's whenever I was like, okay, either she goes to Catholic or Christian, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna follow her. And then COVID happened, and I was just like, I didn't get her name. I didn't want to seem like no weird guy coming
Yeah.
up and like, hey,
Yeah.
what's your name? So I'm glad that God brought us back across paths with each other. Um, so ninth grade, we've stepped up to that next level. We're taking the ball to the hole. We're trying to be the leader on the team. Sophomore year. Tell me what about sophomore year.
Sophomore year, I was actually homeschooled, but I played for Arborbrook, which is in Matthews, North Carolina. I would kind of say that was like my best like year for high school was my sophomore year. I got my 1,000 points that year. I was
Okay.
leading my team, and I had a pretty good team. I forgot what our record was, but we were like up there. I had a pretty good team.
I
But
think y'all lost only like 2 or 3 games, if
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a good year.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because you had the two twins, right, on your
Yes.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm. Matter of fact, I came whenever y'all played against that team in Rock Hill. What was the name of that team?
Rock Hill. Yeah, Rock Hill. It was
No,
we
it was the private school in Rock Hill. Remember?
I don't remember. I remember playing Rock Hill though, because we did go
Right.
to Rock Hill and played them too. I'm trying to think.
Because they recruited people and they had people from like different nations and everything on their team. Their coach was a blonde-headed woman, and her daughter played as well.
Comenius.
Comenius,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
I
yeah,
went
yeah,
whenever y'all played against Comenius, and that
yeah.
was like they had the
Yeah, that
Samoan
was like our
girl.
rival. Comenius was
Yeah,
our rival, so yeah.
yeah, they had the Samoan girl,
Yeah.
and yeah. So
That
10th.
was that was a good game. I believe I think we won that game, and then whenever I think we were like in the championship or whatever, and I think we lost the
Okay.
championship. But yeah, that was our rival team.
Okay. Okay. So the um sophomore year, we hit 1,000 points. I'm on this team. We have a good gel and good factor. Junior year.
Junior year, so I only played half the season. I was doing pretty good. This is whenever I was at Charlotte Christian. My dad was my coach again. My mom was, the assistant coach, and then we had Carlos. He was an assistant coach too. But yeah, so I only played half the season, and then I got diagnosed with leukemia, so I couldn't play.
Hold on. We're not going to jump over that. We're gonna touch on that.
But yeah.
So, what happened? How did you find out about the diagnosis of leukemia?
So, like during my practices, I would like feel out of shape, and I knew it wasn't out of shape. It's the middle of the season. Like, how can I be out of shape? And then like one day, like my knee would start hurting, and then it'll go away. And then the next day, my elbow would start hurting, and then it'll go away. And then the last game I played was at Covenant Day. I played horrible that game. So bad. And then like at the end of the game, like I just like kind of passed out, after the game, I was so winded, I was so tired. So my teammates had to carry me back to the locker room, and my dad was like, something's just not right. So after the game, he took me to the emergency room. And then I was waiting forever, like to get my blood drawn and stuff. And I never got my blood drawn before because I was never sick. Like only time I went to the doctors was to get a physical. Like I was never sick ever. So I was waiting in the emergency room, waiting to get my blood drawn. And then after I got my blood drawn, I went back into the waiting room and like waited like 5 hours. Like I think this was either a Thursday or a Friday night. So it was like kind of packed in there.
Right.
And then so they finally called my name, and I went back into one of the like enclosed rooms or whatever. And one of the doctors came in and told my dad. I was kind of out of it. I was kind of tired, but I was still hearing what he said. And then he was like, so she either needs a blood transfusion or she has leukemia. And then I didn't even know what leukemia was. I wasn't familiar with it at all. And then I was like, okay, well, I just need a blood transfusion because I had a game the next day. So I was like, hey, I just need a blood transfusion because I got a game tomorrow, and I got to get back to it. And then I think I was like waiting in the room for like an hour, and then they transported me to Levine's Children's Hospital. And I'm still out of it. I'm just ready to go home. I'm ready to play my game tomorrow. And then the next day, so my dad and my brother were with me that night. And then so they came to the hospital because I was like in the ambulance, and they transported me there. And then the next day, my mom came, and then the doctor told them that I had leukemia.
So the blood transfusion, like
What was that? I thought I just needed that, and I would be okay.
Even with the blood transfusion, you're gonna have to sit down for like 48 hours in the first place.
Look. I did not know that. I just wanted to play my game tomorrow. I did not know that. I just wanted to get out there and be ready for tomorrow.
So we're in the hospital. We get the L word to us.
Yes.
What went through your head?
Well, I don't know. It was just a bunch of emotions. Like I was scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. But my parents really supported me with it. They were like, we just have to get through this. And I took the mindset of like, it's a basketball game. Like I have to win this. I can't lose. Like I have to win. I have to get over this. And then so my mindset just changed from that day to, beat this so I can get back on the court. And also God, he has blessed me with everything that I have now. And like, especially through all my journey with everything, I don't know how I could do it without, praying to him and like believing him and everything. So that really helped me as well throughout my journey. So, yeah.
Okay. So I know people are going to be like, so some people are going to be like, well, you waited to now just to believe in God? Like, you just waited till you had this sickness? When did your faith in God start?
At a young age. My family is a Christian-based family. We went to church every Sunday. Even on Wednesday, Bible study, we went to that.
Preacher's kid. I know.
Yeah, and even like the kids, how they have like kids, like kid area for to go to church, and then there's kid area. My parents actually like ran that. So I was always with my parents, learning about Jesus and everything. So it was implemented in me from a young age. So yeah.
Okay. Ooh. So back to laying in the bed, you get the L word. Start thinking, okay, what's next?
What's next is I just want to get back on the court. Really. That's what's next. But yeah, I would say it was a very hard journey. I didn't know what I was gonna go through because I've never had cancer before, so it's just the unknown.
Right.
But yeah, I God really got me through it. My family, and God really got me through it for real. So yeah.
So the process that you went through, can you kind of tell us a little bit about that process?
There's a clinic and then there's a hospital. So I would go to the clinic. I think it was once a week or twice a week. No, I'm lying. It was every day. It was every day.
Mhm.
And then sometimes, like if had an infection, I would go to the hospital and I'll have to like stay there for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks to get chemo. At the clinic, I also got chemo every day.
Mhm.
And I think it was once a month or twice a month, I would get a lumbar puncture, which, they put a needle in your back to see if you have cancer cells or how many ever cancer cells you had. I was asleep like whenever I got the lumbar puncture, so I didn't feel it. Since I was 17 at the time. So if you're 18 and under, you get to be put asleep. But if you're 19 or whatever, then yeah, you got to get that done without being put to sleep. So I was glad I got put to sleep. Um, but yeah, my nurses and doctors, they were very nice. They helped me through everything. The only thing I really hated was staying in the hospital because this was during COVID too. So like I couldn't even like go like outside my room and just walk around because it was COVID. You had to stay in your room. You couldn't go anywhere. I had a window to look out of. Like it was just like very frustrating. Like I had to stay at the hospital. I couldn't go home. And then whenever I did go home, I couldn't, go anywhere else because I would get sick easily.
Right.
That was very frustrating because, I'm a teenager, I want to do things, go out, this and that, but I couldn't because I was so sick. But yeah, there was a lot of pain during the process. I was like on a lot of pain meds, on a bunch of medicine. I had to take steroids. But yeah, it was a long
So
road.
the chemo part,
Mm-hmm.
how can what's that like? Like, can you explain like kind of like what the chemo is like?
Yeah. So I don't know if you know what a port is, but it like goes in my chest. So I
My
had a
mom
port.
had one. She had breast cancer, so yes.
Yeah. So I had a port placed in, and then they put the chemo through there. And it depending on, I had like a bunch of different chemo medicines. I honestly forgot the names of most of them because it was
No
a
worries.
lot.
No worries.
But yeah, so like whenever I would get it, it would make me very tired. It would make me sick.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it would just wear me out really. It sometimes it would be painful. But yeah, the thing is, that's so crazy because my doctors, they think I'm like a miracle patient because I didn't have as many side effects as most cancer patients do, which again is a blessing.
Right.
But yeah, it was just, yeah, chemo, chemo,
Right.
chemo, chemo. Don't want that. But yeah,
Yeah. Because I seen what my mother went through, and I was just like, I'm a mama's boy.
yeah.
Everybody tell you I'm a mama's boy, and
Mhm.
I literally just wanted her to get better, and I wanted to
Yes.
like feed her, and she would eat sometimes,
Yes,
and
that's another thing. Like I would feel so full because all the medicines coming in me and this and that, and I wouldn't want to eat. Like the lowest weight I was at was 109 pounds, which is crazy. Like I've never been never weighed that much unless I was like a young kid. So I
right.
was very weak. I have stairs in my house, so like I would go upstairs into my room and be tired from just walking up the stairs. So yeah.
So the taste also. What did the food taste like to you?
Yeah, so my taste buds did change. Like I didn't want any sweet things. I wanted
Mhm.
salty things, salty, salty, salty. Um, some there were I love Doritos and I hated Doritos whenever I was going through chemo and stuff. It just didn't taste good to me. There was another type of food that I loved, but I like didn't want it all.
Right.
Yeah, my taste buds did change. I would eat something and would not like it, and I would eat something and it was really salty and I would love it. So yeah, it was kind of like hard to eat certain things because I didn't want it. But yeah.
How long was this process?
It was about a year. And then in remission, I think I was in remission for maybe like 4 or 5 months. So yeah.
Okay. We're not gonna jump that far yet. We're gonna take step by step.
Yeah.
So the, we got this first process.
Mm-hmm.
We are like, man, I want to be out there in the court. It's
Mm-hmm.
making me mad because I can't be out there in court, but also I'm fighting COVID.
Yes.
I'm sitting here looking as Mary J. Blige is staring out my window, just vibing.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of emotions was going through you during this whole process as well?
I would say just like I would question God and be like, why is this happening to me? What did I do? Like, I haven't done anything. But at the end of the day, God doesn't make mistakes. He has a plan
Mm-hmm.
for you. If something happens to you, it's because it's God's plan, and there's gonna be a bigger picture at the end of the road. Um,
Right.
so I would, just say that. And then also, I just wanted to get back on the court. It was frustrating. Like, I was so weak, and I would always think like I have to work so much. Like, so it's like I have to do this extra just to get back on the court, get my strength back. And then like whenever someday like towards the end of my treatment or whatever, I would, like, after I got chemo, went to the clinic and went back home, my dad would actually train me, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I need to, get slowly back into it, so you might as well just start now. And like, I couldn't even shoot threes. I was so weak to even shoot threes. I started off at layups, just like pounding the ball, working on my handles to do something, and I would have to take breaks, a lot of breaks, because I would get so tired. um but yeah, I would just say, you know, being frustrated with not being on the court, and then, questioning God of like, why is this happening to me? So yeah.
So we're fighting chemo.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting leukemia. Got these offers from the colleges and everything my junior year,
Yeah.
and I can't even finish up my junior year. How did the college coaches like respond to you during this
Um,
process?
they reached out. Nothing really, it's not like they took the offer away from me. Nothing really changed. They were just very supportive, wanting me to get back on the court. And I would respond like, I'm working out. I'm trying to get ready and get back on the court. So they were very, very supportive.
Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
so we kicked leukemias, but senior year we're
Yeah.
back on the court.
Yeah, senior year, the beginning of the season was a struggle. I'm just getting back to myself, trying to get back in shape, trying to get back to me. But it was really hard because, I've been through a year of chemo, and, it just destroys your body. So it's
Right.
very hard to get back to doing what you were doing before. Again, I was very frustrated because I just wanted to be the person I was before, making buckets, playing defense, signing the ball, whatever. So it was a very long road, and in the beginning of the season, I would get so frustrated. But in the back of my mind, I would think this is God's plan, what He has for me, and I just gotta push through, like I pushed through beating cancer. So that was basically my mindset during the season. But yeah, that the senior year was a rough season. I'll say that. It
Yeah.
was very rough,
Right.
but I got through it. So yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about senior season. Like, you're out there on the court,
Mm-hmm.
people already got a bullseye on you. Like,
Yes.
she's a star player. She's got all this. How did you manage to like stay grounded? Like, just not get over frustrated with yourself?
Yeah, I would say I did get overwhelmed because, people saw me junior year, sophomore year, freshman year, like, oh, she's so good, this and that. And then senior year, they come and see me, and I'm not as good as I was before. So that was very frustrating, thinking like, oh, yeah, she sucks or something. Like, but I just try to keep the mindset of I just have to keep working, because it's not
Right.
gonna happen overnight. It's a slow, long process, and I just have to trust God and keep working. I don't care what anybody thinks. I just have to do better for me, and work out, and get better, even though it's a long process. So yeah.
So senior year, you said trust God.
Mm-hmm.
You've questioned God, and you still at the beginning of the seasons was questioning God. How did your faith start growing like more of yes, God, I'm here, I'm listening, and I'm being obedient and humble. How did that start building for you?
I would say, well, through the process of treatment and stuff, I would say my faith was getting stronger because, I didn't have side effects. That's another
Mhm.
blessing. Like God blessed me with that. Also whenever I was in the hospital, there was a nurse, I forgot her name, or her name. Yeah, I did forget her name, but she actually, so I committed to Liberty, my junior year, and the nurse that was with me in the hospital, she actually went to Liberty, and she had a verse, Jeremiah 29:11, and that's another verse that I saw. Like people would give me cards that would have Jeremiah 29:11 on it. There was like a sticker in my room that had Jeremiah 29:11 on it, and I'm just like, this is crazy because God is showing me signs that he is there with me all the time, and he's got my back, and he knows what he's doing. Um and then senior year, I would just say me praying more, and just, having a devotional and just reading that every day and just trusting God that he knows what he's doing. I'm going to get better. He's just going to push me, and I'm going to push myself. And then also my parents, they always give me verses to read, and they're always telling me like, trust in God, he knows what he's doing, he has a plan for you. And yeah.
So for those who don't know what Jeremiah 29:11 is, what is Jeremiah 29:11?
Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. So
That's a
that's my verse.
strong.
That's my verse. I even got it. I got it tatted on me right here too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's jump back again. You say you committed to liberty. What was the deciding factor on committing to liberty?
So the coaches during my treatment, everything, that was the school that really reached out to me, always asking how I was doing. They sent me gifts and everything. And they would always give me verses, just to read while I was going through tough times in the hospital. And it's a Christian school. And my parents also went to Liberty. Um,
Okay.
that's not the reason why I went there. It's because they went there. But I really, just love the coaches and how Christian based it is. And I love the facilities and everything. So, that was like the key factors of why I chose to go to Liberty. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So senior year, we're gonna finish out. We finish out strong.
Mm-hmm.
We graduate. Then what happens?
So I graduate, and then summer workouts for Liberty started in June. So, I had like a week. No, I probably had like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, at home for the summertime. And then I went to Liberty. They have summer workouts June and then July, and then we get a break in August to go home. So, I'm working out, getting myself back together. And towards the end of July, I believe, I started like, I wouldn't say like I in my mind like, oh, I relapsed, because I that was not even a question in my mind, like I was going to relapse. But I started, getting out of breath. I couldn't pay attention in class. Like I would get headaches. And there was one time I was one of my teammates at Liberty, Emma Hess. We and her had the same class together, and like the buildings are so far apart. So we had to walk, and I was like out of breath walking, and I was like, what the heck is happening? And then also I had got my port taken out, but it wasn't like healing correctly. So I was kind of like nervous, like, why is it not healing correctly?
Mhm.
So then I told my parents about this. And so they were just like, okay, we're just going to get a checkup to see that everything's okay. So they picked me up from Liberty, and then I went to Levine Children's Hospital to get a checkup. Well, the clinic part of Levine Children's Hospital. And then I got my blood drawn and everything. And then Dr. Kaplan, my doctor that I love, he came in the room, and then he told me that I had relapsed. So yeah.
So you get the news of relapse.
Mm-hmm.
What goes on through your mind now?
Well, whenever I got the news, I started crying. I don't want to go through this again. I didn't want to go through this again. But after, my crying episode that I went through, same mindset that I had. This is a game. If I can beat it once, I know I can beat it again. So it was like I was scared a little bit, but I wasn't scared as the first time because I'm like I know what I'm gonna go through. God's got me. This is God's plan again. I was frustrated, but at the end of the day, I know I had to beat this again. So it was just another battle that I have to get through. But yeah.
Okay. So I couldn't imagine. My mom, she's a 2-time breast cancer survivor. So, hers came, I think, almost 8 years apart from each other, but yours is 2 years.
Close to, yeah. Yeah.
And for somebody like me, I probably would have just rolled over and just been like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be a strong
the
vessel.
funny thing is that my brothers say that all the time. They're like, if I had cancer, I would just say, God, take me. And I was like, no, you can't do that. You got to fight this battle.
I'm telling you, like, I would have been like, you know what, been like all dramatic. Oh, take me now. Take me now. I can't do it. Into thy hands I give thee. Please forgive me, Father, for I have sinned and come short of your glory. But for you to be strong and say, I did this one time. Like the song says, if he did it before, he can do it again. Same God right now, same God back then. So this episode of your leukemia/cancer situation, how long did it last?
I would say it was a little shorter than the first time because I did like a different treatment. So I would say it was about a year and some change again. So yeah.
Okay. So going through this process, I am on Liberty's basketball team. I can't be there with my teammates because I'm going through this treatment. What was the motivation? Like, what really motivated you during this period of time?
I would say all my teammates, they definitely did motivate me, and my coaches and family and everything, they are all, always motivating me. But I would say really myself is just like a motivation because I want to get back on the court. And I feel like, the first time people are telling me like I'm an inspiration, like I want to do it to show like kids my age, girls my age, boys, whoever, that they anything that they go through, like say they tear their ACL, you can get through it and it's going to be okay. You just have to push yourself and have God by your side because everything's going to be okay whenever you have him by your side. So yeah.
I like that because, again, being a trainer, kids are always like, oh, I can't do it. This part is like pulling me here, and I just don't, I can't. And I had to try to tell them anytime you put the C word in your head, then you're not going to be able to.
Right.
If I listen to people and they tell me, oh, you're not a good basketball trainer, you can't lead, you aren't going to be able to do this, and I put that negative mind state in my head, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Right.
Plus your parents.
Yeah.
Everything revolves back to your parents, which I love. I haven't met you. I probably passed your dad in passing, but really hadn't talked to him.
Yeah.
But there was a little clip that I was going to play, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to play it. I know you know what clip I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the way that your mother and your father spoke in that clip showed that faith that is driven by both of them, and the prayer of an accessory that they did over you during your process.
Yes.
I know that that's what really healed you. It wasn't the
Yes.
medicine, it was
Right.
God's
Right.
hands.
Yes. All God's hands. All God's hands.
So while you was going through your treatments, were you able to go to any of the Liberty games? And if so, like what kind of precautionary things did you have to do while you was there?
Yeah, so I think I went to even before I went to the games, there was a media day and it was in September. So I ended up going there. I had to wear a mask and stuff. But whenever we took our pictures, I took my mask off to take pictures and stuff. But I had this it's called a blender bag, and it
Mhm,
was I had a port on this side now.
mhm.
And I had this like a black bag that I had with me because the medicine was like in the bag, and I
Okay.
could walk everywhere, but it was in the bag. Um, and I was repping my bag on media day with my medicine in it. But I got to see the team in September, and then I think I went to 2 or 3 games. I remember. And it was just like I was sad. Like I want to be on the court. Like I'm at home watching the games. I just want to be on the court, this and that. But I took like a different mindset of like, okay, I'm just like whenever I went to the game, just a different mindset. I can still learn
Mhm.
watching the games. Like, oh, okay, this is their play, this and that. Because in the summertime, the last year, they didn't really go over like a bunch of plays. I might have went over 2 or 3. So I'm like, okay, I can get their playbook down. I can be ready for next year, knowing the plays and knowing how their offense runs, this and that. So it was just a different mindset of like, I didn't lose. I'm still watching the game, learning as I'm watching the game. So, it's not like, even though I want to be out there, it's not like I'm just sitting there doing nothing. Like I could still learn. It's still a positive thing to be here or even being at home watching the game. So, yeah.
So you're going to the game, you're watching at home. I know you had different teammates that reach out to you.
Yeah.
One is in particular that reached out and was like very inspirational to you.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Uh, Kennedy Williams. I would say Kennedy Williams and D Brown, both of them.
Okay.
But mostly Kennedy Williams. That's the person. Even the first time I had cancer, I was texting how frustrated I was, and she would, send me texts back about like, you can do this. It's one step at a time. She would always tell me it's a slow process, one step at a time. If you accomplish making a layup today, you're gonna accomplish, making a 3 by the end of the month or something like that. But she was one of the teammates that we're really close now. So one of the teammates that I will always have a friend and always be by my side. So yeah.
What class was she?
She was I think the first year she was a junior, and then
Okay.
this season or last season she was a senior. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
So you and Kennedy, y'all became sister friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And she helped motivate you kind of to get you over that hump.
Yes.
You come back the next following year.
Hmm.
How was it stepping back into basketball and then at that the D1 level of basketball for you compared to like how you stepped in from high school?
Yeah, I would say it's really different. Like practice is different, weightlifting is different, it's just a different level. It's harder than, high school. Some people think high school is easy. Then you get to college and it's really hard. But it's just a different level. You have to really focus. Time management is a big thing in college. Got to
Right,
be on time for practice, got to be on time for class, because you don't want to make the coaches mad. You want to be on the coach's good side. So yeah.
right. So tell us like what's the difference, real difference in the high school practice and the mentality and then the college practice and mentality.
I would say in high school, you can you know goof around, play around in high school practice and not get in trouble for it. In college practice, it's more detailed. They're going to tell you one thing and you have to understand it. They're not going to keep repeating. They're probably not even going to show you. They're going to tell you and you have to do it. In high school, you probably can get for, visual learners to show the drill or whatever. But in college, they're not going to do that. You have to understand the first thing they say. You have to retain plays. You just have to be,
proficient.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about conditioning wise? Like, tell us, because I try to tell the youth all the time while I'm training them, you got to do everything game time speed, game time speed.
Yeah.
What condition wise did you experience, like running to like the physical attributes of a D1 type of atmosphere is it?
So in the summertime, we had Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. I think they might have switched on a little bit, but those were our conditioning days, and I hated Tuesday and Thursday. It was different little things. It's hard. You have to, like, if you don't touch the line, we're starting over. Like, we're starting the whole thing over if you don't.
Hold on, repeat that again for me.
If you don't touch the line, you're starting all the way over everything. They don't care. You're starting over. You have to be very focused on everything that you do. Like, you have to get it right the first time because they're not playing. You're at like competing for your spot. So say the other teammate is doing it right, they're gonna choose that teammate over you. So you have to do everything precise, the right way. And you have to push yourself. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. And you have to motivate yourself, or the teammates are going to motivate you. You got to keep yourself accountable and, keeping other teammates accountable. So, you can get through practice without, restarting everything. And yeah, so. And also like in the weight room, like it's different because, you're actually like lifting for real. Like you lift in high school, but whenever you get to college, they want you to gain stuff. You want to eat the right way with nutrition and stuff. So yeah, it's very different.
So I'm glad you touched on eating. Eating and sleeping.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Sleeping is the most important thing. Sleeping, you need to get 8 hours of sleep every night, or you're not going to perform right. Like sleeping, it was a really big thing at Liberty. Like we had at the time we had Fitbits. And then this last year that I was there, we had an Oura ring that like tracked our steps, tracked our sleep and everything. And if we didn't sync our Oura rings, or if we didn't get 8 hours of sleep, we would get in trouble, or we would have to run or something. So yeah, they don't play.
So let's touch on this because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to college and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and if I want to go out partying, then I'm gonna go out partying. What did you see, like as far as like well, let's repeat that. What did you know if somebody went out and did something that they weren't supposed to do? What was like a repercussion of that?
Well, I would say the coaches they always find out. Someone's talking to someone's talking to someone. If you do something bad, there's gonna be a consequence to your actions. Luckily, I wasn't doing bad stuff, so I didn't have any consequences of if I went out or whatever. Like just be smart whenever you go out. You don't need to, do all these bad things and then the next day, the whole team's running because of one thing that you did. You just have to be smart. The people who you hang around with, that's a big thing, because you need to have the right people with the right mindset that you're being with. So I would say that.
Look, they be fighting me tooth and nail, like, coach, I can hang out, Jaquan, even though Jaquan is over here doing the bad things, that's not going to be a reflection. I'm like, you don't understand. Whatever someone sees you around.
Yes, they're going to think you're doing the same thing, basically. So, you have to pick. I would say have a small circle, have a small circle around you. Because, you don't want to be in a big circle and hanging around with the wrong people, because your name gets everywhere. Even if you didn't do it, you're still going to be associated with them people. So
guilty by association.
Yeah.
So let's go back, and I hate going back to the C word part.
Yeah.
Um, your eating habits, did they have to change of like what you ate and what you put into your body?
Yes. So I really didn't eat any meat. I might have ate like fish, but I
Mhm.
didn't eat red meat. No sugar, because sugar, that cancer cells love sugar. So and then I'll, eat vegetables, and also like working out is good for the body. So, I would like go to the Y, walk on the treadmill and just work out because that's really good for the body. But yeah, I did it. The funny thing is, I'm glad whenever I was going through everything that I did not like sugar, because
Mhm.
what's crazy is like after I got my lumbar puncture, some of the nurses, they would be like, oh, okay, well, if you drink caffeine or if you go, go get a frappe at McDonald's, then it will help it not be sore. And I'm like, you're telling them to eat sugar, so like I don't know, it was kind of crazy because some of them would suggest like, go get ice cream or whatever, but yeah, no,
So
stay away from sugar.
what'd you do in the place of the sugar? Like how where did you get your sweets from?
Out fruits,
Fruits?
strawberries, oranges, yeah.
Okay. So are you still on that kick now? Like where you don't eat like sweets or you eat sweets like
I
sparingly and do more?
I eat sweets here and there. I'm still not a big like sweet person. I'll eat candy here and there, but no, I really have been focusing on my diet, drink a protein shake every day, eat your greens. I still don't eat like a lot of meat either. I love salmon though. I will eat salmon, but I don't really like do chicken, steak, pork, any of that. So, yeah.
See, I need to stop doing that, but
Yeah. It's hard because I know it's good, but I really one thing I don't like is steak. I don't like steak at all. I just don't like it. It's not good to me. So yeah.
I mean, I got a smoker barrel out there, so I'll be smoking like everything: wings,
Yeah.
steaks, pork chops. I mean, vegetables.
Yeah.
Um, so we get our first year at Liberty.
Hmm.
See, I just jumped completely back into Liberty.
Yeah.
We get our first year in Liberty. How was that? Like, what was playing that D1 level basketball like for you?
I enjoyed it a lot. Again, you have to stay focused whenever you step on the floor. You don't want to have the mindset of like, oh, I can't mess up, because then you're gonna mess up whenever you get on the
Mm.
floor. Well, for me, as being a point guard, I would, lead my team the best way that I could, and set my teammates up to score or whatever, and just really my be better at my leadership. So that's what I did.
I think I watched a episode with you in Central Arkansas,
Oh
and
yeah.
you was taking it to the basket even with somebody tall on you, and I was like, okay, this is why she was talking
Yeah.
jump to me at Mercy kept like, I done did this, so there
Yeah.
ain't nothing you can do. What
Mhm.
did you fear re-injuring yourself or injuring yourself at any point during like the games, especially since you're coming back from chemo? This is
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get into shape and get
Right.
on that level.
I don't think I really had like a fear. Maybe like in the beginning of the season, because I'm still gaining my strength back. Trying to gain muscle on me. But towards the end of the season, I didn't really think I like feared anything. Like, if I'm gonna attack the basket, I better try to make the bucket. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, you bodied that one young lady. I was like, you was like at one, and you took a baseline and took it over the two twin towers and got fouled and landed on your rear end. And you was like, God. And I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So played 1 year at Liberty.
Hmm.
Here comes that next year.
Yes.
What changed or what made you decide to transfer to a different institute?
I would say the system that Liberty is in, it's like more of a slower system. And I feel
Mhm.
like I am a fast-paced guard and I want to, do transition, this and that. Liberty doesn't really do transition. There's more about like threes, layups, this and that. And I just feel like I gotta be smart with what I say, but like I feel like a better I should have, go to a different school to be in a better situation where I can use my strengths as being a fast guard instead of, like always having to slow it down, slow it down.
Mhm.
So that's really the main reason why I wanted to transfer.
Okay.
So
I mean, you got to go where you feel comfortable and where
yeah,
that inner line is.
yeah.
So the school that you decided to transfer to is where?
It's in Rhode Island, Bryant University.
You going north
It's
where
far.
it's
It's
gonna be
far. It's
like
far and it's cold. It's far and it's cold. So yeah.
during the winter time. I'm gonna have to do part two of this and be like, so it's what 12
Yeah.
degrees today. Did you walk to
Yes.
class?
Mhm. It's gonna be so cold. But I got all my clothes, my puffer jacket, my sweatpants, sweatshirt. I'm ready for it. So yeah.
Look, you're gonna need like a
I'm gonna need
Eskimo,
two.
like
I'm gonna need two puffer jackets.
you gotta get one of those electric sweaters and coats where
Yes.
you walk to class and then you get to class and be like cut off.
Yeah.
Whew, Jesus,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
you see, I walked through 16 inches of snow just to get here.
Yes. Crazy.
So, what's your expectations at Bryant? Like, what are you looking to like succeed in this year coming while you're at Bryant?
Well, one, to always stay getting better. I love Coach Lynn. That's the head coach there. She really is a dog. She is a dog for real. So that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Bryant is because of her.
Mhm.
But some of my goals are just being a better leader, leading my team, areas that I need to work on, uncomfortable areas to be comfortable in
Mhm.
them. And you know, try to win the conference. So that's really the big main I want to have Brian.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. Your signal was like,
Yeah. I
your
think it is
internet.
me actually. Oh, okay. I think we're good now. Oh no.
There you
Okay,
go.
I
There you
can.
go. There you go. You got to stop moving your leg because every time you move your leg, it goes out.
Okay. Oh, it messes up. Oh,
Yeah. But again, I'm just so amazed of the two stints of the L word that you went through and how you bounced back and
mhm.
how
Yeah.
one like just looking at you, no one would be able to ever tell.
Yeah. I get that all the time. Like nobody ever thinks I had cancer or anything, but I did.
Because I was talking
Yeah.
to gosh, I always want to call him Jalen Hurst, your friend.
Oh, Chandler?
Chandler, yeah, because I was wanting to get him on, and he was like, "Nah,
Yeah.
who you need to get is Breya. She's the one that you need to get on. She's a two-time cancer survivor." And I was like, "Huh? What?" I was like, "She
Mhm.
doesn't even look like it. She
Yeah. I get that all the time. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I would have never expected like this." This seeing the energy you brought during the basketball camp, the way you just held yourself. You just I mean, you're perfectly normal because
Yeah.
we're normal in God's eyesight in the spirit, but human body isn't our final destination, as I would tell people.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, whenever we pass from this flesh, we are ascended into the spirit of God, which is the righteousness that is forever. So I guess the last question is, after basketball, what's the final Breya platform that we're shooting for?
Well, I don't ever want to be done with basketball. I want to go. I want to go overseas and do all that and everything. Um, but I don't know. I want to do something with sports. I want to stay in sports. Fitness or something. I want to do something that I enjoy doing. But yeah, or I could be a speaker and tell my story and talk about God and everything to reach more people. So yeah.
Look, you need to
I'm gonna
open in
figure it out.
that.
I don't know what I want to do yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. So
You
yeah.
need to open in that to get everybody ha 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 before we come in and be like, we fall down, but we get up. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I could
Yes.
be that stand-up comedian,
Yes.
like, bruh, and then I'd be like, look, this young lady, so filled, so blessed, so talented. You know, I'm just amazed at the fact again that you are different than the substandard, because a lot of the females, they're out here on TikTok and trying to be Instagram famous, but you're Instagram famous for
I would say
the
a different reason.
yes.
Yeah.
The inspirational story. We got to get this basketball classic thing back up and running because
Yes, yeah. I think there's gonna be one. It happens every year, so
okay.
it's gonna be in March. I don't know the dates yet, but
You
it's
let
gonna
me know. I'll
happen.
shoot it all throughout my Instagram, my
Yeah.
Facebook, my Twitter. I'll even see if I can get some of my pro athletes to get involved and be a part
Yeah.
of it, because my thing is the merchandise.
Oh,
Woo! Yes.
the merchandise. Yes,
Let,
yes.
tell.
I'm gonna have to get some.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, I'm gonna be wearing it proud. I'll be walking out.
Good.
They're gonna be like,
Good.
"What is that?" And I'm be like, "Look, let me tell you. Go to YouTube, check out the story, check
Yeah.
out what this young lady has inspired." Like I said, I'm the type. If I have somebody on my podcast, I do background. I'll Google. I'll
Yes.
pull up videos. I'll
Yeah.
pull up like everything. And the way the community responded to you, sending inspirational videos and everything,
Yes.
I feel like that had to be a very, very inspiring,
Yeah.
situation for you.
Yes. Whenever I was going through like everything, I had so many DMs from like everybody in Charlotte and even in different states and everything. And that really helped me a lot. Just everybody praying for me. And that's one thing I knew it's God, because all these prayers and everything, not just one person, but a whole community praying for me. And now look at me today, cancer free. So it's God. It's all God. So
Look, I'm about to get up and start shouting. But one person that stood out most that didn't even have to do it was Steph Curry.
Yes.
That one right there.
He sent me a video. I still have it. But yeah, I was so amazed. Like, he reached out just to send me a video to pray for me. That's crazy. So yeah.
Yeah. That's why I tell people, I'm like, look, a lot of these athletes, y'all don't know what they do behind the scenes because they
Right.
want to be behind the scenes. They don't want to be out here like known to, you know, a couple of athletes that I deal with that's on a professional level. They go down to the soup kitchen and feed at the soup kitchen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
these are multimillionaire people. They don't have to
Yeah.
do this,
Yeah.
but you know, they even told me I started a mentoring business for Charlotte
Mhm.
Met schools, and a lot of them are like, "Look, I'll come in surprise one day. You want to get the group of guys together? I'll come in and
Wow.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
and I got connections. So it's one of those who do things without fame and wanting fortune out of it are the ones
Right.
who far exceeds and get their blessings.
Right. Right.
And that's what, about you, because I would have never known your situation unless you wanted to come out and tell me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you had an angel
Mm-hmm.
of Chandler
Yes.
say, hey, not
And
me.
Chandler, he is my biggest supporter. He has been supporting me since day one. That is my best friend, and it's never gonna change. He's always had my back, and I really appreciate him. So
Yeah. I remember Chandler before he started, college and everything. He was that little kid running around,
yes.
and he was always like, "Yo, I can play ball. I can do this," and I was
Mhm.
like, "Yeah," but
Yeah.
he very, very like inspirational.
Yeah.
Some of the kids that I picked up from Muzzie's camp to train, they
Yeah.
always like, you talk to Jalen Hurst,
Yeah.
any? And I'm like, I haven't talked to him since camp. They're like, man, he was funny. I liked him. Sometimes he got on my nerves, but other times he was like you, broke the game down, told me like things that
Yeah.
I need to do. And that's what I love about the upcoming youth, especially
Mhm.
you all that's coming through college,
Yeah.
because y'all didn't have to come. Y'all
Mhm.
didn't have to take time out to, do things. And especially you,
Right.
you got a busy schedule. Cause I
Yeah.
was like, hey, when can we do this?
Yeah.
I need to get your story out there. And like
Mhm.
there was days that went by and I didn't hear it. And I was like, all right, sweet baby Jesus. I know this is
We got
Satan.
it up and running now. We got it up and running. So
Yeah, but I am so, so, so honored and privileged to be able to have you on
no,
the
thank
episode.
you. Thank you for having me on here for real.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, this story really touched my heart. Like I know I told you, but I cried whenever I watched that video,
Ah,
and I was like,
that video it gets me, and I'm not I'm not really a crier type of person, but every single time I watch that video, it gets me every time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
and I was like, I'm a real boy. I can't, but this is so touching. Oh my
Oh,
God. Oh
oh
my
my
God.
goodness.
God is a joy and the strength of my life.
Oh
But
my goodness.
no, for real, I watched it twice and I cried both times. And I was like, I know what's gonna happen, and I still cried.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. Mhm.
just to hear the triumph and the tenacity to say, I trust God
Yes. Yeah.
and I keep God first and foremost.
Mhm.
That is very big, especially with your generation,
Yeah,
because
because some people are like ashamed that if even if they believe in God, or if they don't want to believe in God, because there's like a bunch of other religions, other groups or whatever that kids want to get into, but that God has a way to show everybody who He
yeah,
is. So we just
because
gotta reach everybody.
right,
So
this
yeah.
AAU organization I work with up in Salisbury, I gave
Mhm,
some boys a ride up to a tournament in Raleigh,
mhm.
and I threw on gospel, and it was like, And I was like, just listen. I was
Yes,
like, before you throw in your headphones, just listen to the
because the words
message.
are powerful.
They are,
Message
because
words are powerful.
I played God Is with Fred Hammonds and the other young lady. I played Marvelous by what is his name? I can see it, but I played them 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at a couple of them, and you could see the tear ducts almost started falling. And I was like, you never know what someone is going through, and
Right,
one powerful word
right.
can be that inspiration. I can't count on how many times I spoke to someone and it was like, I thought about taking my life before you spoke to me.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it's like, what made you come up and talk to me? And I was like, I don't know, just something drew me to you.
God has a way. God has a way.
Yes, yes. And I'm so grateful that you are put in the position that you are.
Yeah.
And I know with you and your faith, especially moving to this new program, you're going to be that inspiration that somebody needs on that
Mhm.
team, or even not even on the team, maybe in the classroom
Yeah.
and in the facility.
Hmm.
So I can't wait to see you back on that court.
Yes, I'm excited. I am so excited.
But I do need you to slow down some, because one time she got the rebound and she was looking for the outlet, and you was all the way down at the other end of the court in like two
Mhm.
seconds. I was like, you was just at the free throw line,
I
blink
do
twice.
I do need to work. I do need to be smart with my speed, you know.
Uh,
Yeah.
Not after you get the ball, but making sure the
Yeah.
outlet
Yeah.
is there. Because
Yeah.
like the cameraman was like, oh, there she is. But last question.
Mhm.
If someone wants to get in touch with you or look at your merchandise,
Mhm.
how are they able to do this?
Well, I did have it in my bio. I have the Bryant merch in my bio, but I mean they can either DM me and I can send
Mhm.
them to link, because I was trying to learn how to put 2 links in my bio, but I don't know how to do it.
But
Um
if you don't, I'm still like 18 light years behind you. I just learned how to like be able to put something in my story, because
yeah.
my nephew, who's ranked in the country,
Mhm.
class of 2026, he's like, oh, why you always do this? And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, help your uncle out.
Yeah. Or there's in my highlight, in one of my in the 4BB highlight, like this, there's like a link that they can click on it and then they can get that on there too. But yeah.
Okay, so what's your social media platforms?
Instagram, it's at Breya4, and then Twitter. I don't use Twitter a lot, but I still have
Right.
it. It's just Breya Busby. And then I don't know if they want my TikTok. Uh
Let's
that
just stick with Instagram
yeah,
and Twitter, because
yeah. So it's Breya4 for Instagram and then Breya Busby for Twitter.
okay, all
Yeah.
right. And look, I'm telling you, Corner Stoop family, this young lady is a great inspiration. I don't think you fully grasp everything in this interview, but go and Google Bria Busby and just read through several of the situations. And there's one video, I'm telling you, you watch that video, I cry, we all cry together,
Mhm.
and let's continue to uplift Bria as she, goes on to her next journey with Bryant University. Again, Bria, thank you for sitting down, having a talk with me on my corner stoop, and God bless. And I'm so privileged and honored to have spoken with you.
Thank you for having me on here for real. It was really
Yes,
good. Love talking to you.
yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Corner Stoop. I have another episode coming up with another young lady as well, but I'm gonna drop this one hopefully by Monday, and then I have another back-to-back one coming on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, Bria, enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All
Thank-
righty, all right.
All right.
Hold on, let me stop the Twitter